Hold on to your hats, kids, because Grunge Bible Mission 2024 is officially a go as we welcome you into the new year, January 1st. Happy New Year. This is episode 145 of the Grunge Bible podcast. My name is Chris Salona, and I am joined here in the new year with Ethan Shalloway. We're still here. They haven't found a way to kill us yet.
No, they hadn't. Maybe after that intro, we'll be banned.
That might be it. Yeah, that might be the end of it.
I'm just kidding. It wasn't that bad.
Hello and welcome.
But I wanted to comment since we've been talking about how we intro each one, and this is a new year, so this intro had to be different and special.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, like we said right before we got on here, this podcast has been running since 21. So 24. This is like, you know, you go from a 21-year-old to a 24-year-old. I mean, that's a big.
A lot can
difference.
happen.
Oh yeah. You mature a lot. So that's how we are. We're mature.
Yeah.
We've grown. We're new men.
We're beacons of maturity.
And we are men of our day. And that's exactly what this year
kings
is all
of our
about.
time.
That is what that's the motto of this year.
Yeah.
Men
I
of
like
our
that a
time.
lot. I identify with that. It feels good to still be here. To keep cranking these out. I'm excited.
It does feel good to still be here, Chris.
Oh yeah. It beats the alternative. So Ethan, how are you today? How are we doing?
I'm doing well. I am doing really well. Yeah, I've you know, just like when you push off stuff that you have to do, you feel really anxious, and then you finally do a lot of that stuff, you have a big relief and you feel like you can relax and breathe. And it's kind of how the holidays kind of go, where it's like there's like a build up and then all of a sudden there's a release, and you know, release me.
Yeah.
So
Every
that's
night
exactly how I
just
feel.
release me.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm in a good spot. I'm loving it. We got a brand new year. 2024 is our year.
This is our
Many
year.
People say, but I like New Year's resolutions. I think we talk about this each year too.
Yeah, we did. I know last year.
I'm a fan of it. Like I like drawing a line in the sand.
Oh yeah,
You know?
we're across this line. You do not.
That's right. Like, you know, one pack of Marlboros a day. That's it.
That's it. Exactly.
You know, you get a hard line. You get one.
Well, then you get on the Uncle Buck, like the 5-year plan where you go from cigarettes to cigars. Like, you know, I think we're working our way down from cigars to perhaps, nicotine gum or something.
Oh yeah.
It's a process.
Yeah, Nicorette, little sidebar about that, because me and my coach enjoy talking about Nicorette and the lore behind it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I just was like, you know, because Zyn broke out, you know, the tobacco-less nicotine pouches, obviously huge. We're big fans of them.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy that nicotine gum wasn't abused like earlier in its inception. Like people actually use it to stop smoking, when like now people just abuse
There was no
nicotine.
crossover, like to just get like a head buzz.
Yeah, from like chewing gum. And I'm like, what a terrible advertising. They should have went in the whole different direction.
If they got the 20-somethings on board, it would have been, a big
That's
thing. I mean,
what I'm saying.
I would have some right now, but
a big miss, and it's so expensive. I think.
is it?
Nicorette.
I've never purchased any of it.
Yeah, I think it's really expensive. I'm not going to throw a number out there, but
I have
I've just
heard that. Yeah, the pundits have told us as such.
Huge miss on Nicorette to try to be too helpful.
I mean, that's the thing, Ethan. Sometimes people have ideas and people have things that they need to do and they do miss. We can't relate to that here 145 weeks in a row.
Yeah, it is unreal. I hope you guys listened to the Christmas episode, a nice short, sweet one, but I really enjoyed it. And this one will be the same. This will be a good one.
Yeah, I agree.
Usually we have our producer Drew on for this episode. We decided to push that back a week or two.
Yeah, we had a little scheduling conflict. The holidays are tough.
This has been hectic.
Things have just been really crazy. Yeah, we're recording this a couple of days before Christmas just to get it done, and things didn't time up. But we've got some good stuff coming down pretty soon, hopefully. And Drew will be on an episode soon, and I'm anticipating that we'll have some more guests on pretty soon. That was something that we said internally. We want to do at least one a month with guests in 2024. So we're gonna have to see to it that happens.
I wonder how many guests we did for 23. How many do you think?
We did not do very many. I know we did Lederman, we did Petey. That honestly may have been it.
No, we definitely did more.
We
Unless it was
hammered
2 years ago.
the end of 2022.
Okay, we'll get a fact check next episode.
Yeah,
we have Drew on.
Yeah, Drew, our
We'll
producer.
crunch the
He'll
numbers.
produce us real quick, and it'll be great.
Ideally, yes, he will produce us. That's your homework, Drew, if you're listening out there, which you better be.
Yeah, he has to be listening.
I don't know. He may just take it in and send it out. We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I would do that. To be honest,
I would never undermine his abilities.
No, never ever. That's good.
Okay.
I'm glad you're hanging in. You're doing well.
Yeah, you're doing well, I'm assuming.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. I'm in a good mood.
I can never tell if we talk about it on, like, I know we talk about how we're doing every day, so like
Exactly.
I know how you're doing.
I'm good. So we're recording this a couple days before Christmas. I got everything ready. I'm ahead of schedule. Like, everything's been wrapped for a couple of days now. I feel good. My brother's going to be coming home. Friends, family, loved ones, the whole thing is going to be going on. So I'm very excited for that, and I'm doing well. Got some time off of work, so that's also important.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really good. That's what it's about.
That
Have
is
you been
what it's
watching your Christmas movies?
Yeah, so I was supposed to, actually last night I was going to watch It's a Wonderful Life, but I got sidetracked and I didn't end up watching it, but I need to watch it. I might watch it tonight. I need to watch it before Christmas, and I'm running out of days. So that's the only one that I have left to do. So, and I'm very...
You have a busy weekend?
Kind of, just with like getting stuff ready, because Christmas for us, as we're recording, is a couple of days away. So have to just do some errands and just spend family time because my brother will be home, but nothing like super, super hectic, seeing some different family that I'm not as close with, this weekend, just to get it out of the way before the holiday hits. So yeah.
Awesome.
That's what we'll be doing.
So we want to take this time to thank everybody that is listening. There's a few people that are listening that also decided to invest a few dollars. We have a Patreon page, which we are allowed to allow people to give $2, $5, $10. And every level is really important.
Right.
And we have a ton of $2 members and a ton of $10 members. The middle club, it's other. I love the people that are there because, there's not many of them, so it's special.
Right.
But people either get the 2 or the 10. And
yeah,
I
they
love
like to
that
deal
too.
in
So,
absolutes.
yeah, so if you're thinking about doing something for the new year, maybe you want to support something a little bit more, please consider us and the Grunge Bubble podcast, because it really does help run this ship. And we wouldn't really be doing it if everything was out of pocket. Luckily, it's not just out of our pockets. It's out of some people that are generous enough.
Absolutely. Yeah. So as we do, I would like to thank the top tier supporters over on Patreon. And their names are King Buzzo Stole My Hair, What the Fuck Is Up Denny's, Pile of Punk, Rachel Corning, Seattle 4 Fanboy from New Jersey, Sherry Matthews, Nikki Six, Millie, Laura Nyreen, Chris LSMS, Keith White, Granny Grunge, Jade Mercado, Jamie Lynn, Carlene Salona, Gochu John, Fuck Soup, Faith Bittner, Eric R. Berry, Apona, D-Boat, Doug Endy, Down in a Hole Flat Out Fucked, Eddie Vedder Got Me Through My Second Divorce, Kara K, The Blue Owl, Black Hole Sean, Alexis Shannon, and Alex Long. And I don't recall saying it, but Mike McCready's mustache as well. So I must have missed that one when I transcribed. I'm in a big slump when it comes to the Patreon supporters here. I got to make a note of that.
The average is going down slightly, but still Hall of Fame worthy.
Yeah, I just need a big 2024 campaign to really win the voters over, and hopefully I'll be able to do that, and my candidacy for the hall will no longer be in doubt.
Right. Be able to continue your tenure.
Yeah, exactly. So
awesome.
We'll see. So that's the people that we're thankful for. We're thankful for everybody listening. We're thankful to talk about music, and we have a little bit of a kind of a fun activity related to music, and this is a good one too, because as you listen, you can kind of think of your choices as we go along here. But with it as the beginning of the new year, we thought it would be a fun idea to kind of just take a bunch of bands, and in the spirit of kind of kicking things off, we're going to roll through a bunch of bands from the era and each choose one song from their entire discography that we would want them to kick off a show, a set list opener, the first song that you hear when you're waiting, anticipating. So this is going to be a fun exercise as we go through. I'm sure there will be some usual suspects and maybe some that are a little bit out of left field. So this will be a lovely conversation. But before we do that, we do have to discuss what was hip and happening and occurring on this day in music history, January the 1st.
Yeah, this is a big day, being the new year to all of these years that we have written down, really setting the tone, whether good or bad. Because obviously these dates have a lot of births and deaths. So let's get into it. First date, 1942, Joe McDonald of Country Joe and the Fish is born.
This is huge.
This is huge.
Didn't you write a paper in high school about Country Joe and the Fish?
No, I did not. I wish, I wish I
Why,
did.
why do I think that you did that?
I don't know, but I most certainly.
Are
did
you
not.
sure? It was like a protest, the protest song or something. Didn't you have something to do with that?
So now that you say that, I mean, I definitely did something on Woodstock, and he maybe came up. I'm just wondering.
Because that would be a
I
very
guess did you
specific
read?
thing for me to recall.
Yeah, and you maybe you have a better memory than I do when it comes to stuff I've done too. So I believe you. I probably did.
I think you did.
I'm definitely gonna check that later.
Yeah, go consult your sources.
That's awesome.
That's hilarious. Let's move up to 1953, unless you have any more thoughts on the Great Country Joe or the Fish. I mean, you don't have to talk about country, you can just talk about the Fish too. Let's go to 1953. On this day, Hank Williams Sr. died at age 29 of a heart attack, and this was back in the era where they were just eating amphetamines like candy and just all of those indiscretions back in the 50s. So he died very young, but he's
it's crazy. I did not realize that he was 29 years old.
Yeah, he was very young.
My age.
Yep, the long gone lonesome blues. Yeah, it's like I heard a story. I forget who it was, but like yesterday I was listening to something and somebody was like, "Yeah, I had a heart attack at 28." I'm like, that is fucked. That kind of makes me a little nervous.
Yeah, I mean, we're not in the danger zone, obviously, but we could be.
The Kenny Loggins danger zone. I mean, we're always in that danger zone, but not the not the heart attack, the coronary danger zone.
Right. Moving up 6 years to 1959 on January 1st, Johnny Cash plays one of his first jailhouse shows at San Quentin Prison.
San Quentin, yeah.
This is great. The local radio station in Birmingham, every Saturday they play the jailhouse. They have like a jailhouse hour.
Nice.
Where they play all of his old stuff, and
yeah,
it's really interesting. I mean, an hour is a long time to listen to only.
An hour is a very long time to listen to something of that variety.
Yes,
but I mean, you know what? It's kind of easy because Johnny Cash has like the Live at Folsom Prison. He's got the Live at San Quentin as well, a couple of records that he recorded. But my favorite thing about this one in 1959, Merle Haggard attended, not because he was playing with Johnny Cash or anything, but he was actually he was locked in chains. He was serving some time for burglary, but he got to witness the great Johnny Cash. So we had the Cash and the Hag together in the same place.
If I had to spend time in a prison or a jail and I was able to see Johnny Cash, that would definitely make things a little better. I mean, yeah, that would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, that would not be bad. Let's move on up to 1968. On this day, a little known band out of Berkeley, California named the Gollywogs made a name change, Ethan, and they decided to change their name from the Gollywogs to something known as Creedence Clearwater Revival. And I have to say, a lot of times, you don't know which way to go when you're changing names or changing styles or whatever. I mean, this one knocked it out of the park. Could you imagine?
I think this is a good choice.
I love the Gollywogs, man. I think Creedence Clearwater Revival was a home run choice. So I have no issues with that, and I'm happy to celebrate that today.
There has been some great name changes over the years, and this one is definitely on the short list, maybe top 3.
Yeah.
Along with Mookie Blaylock.
You're not a big Mookie Blaylock guy?
I don't know. As a band, I don't know. Yeah.
Well,
it's hard. It's revisionist history,
that's the thing. I mean, anybody can do that. Do you know the name that Creed first performed as?
Okay. I don't know if it was you or my dad or maybe the local radio station. They did a top 10 name changes.
Yeah.
And they gave all the band names, and I know Creed, was it something to do with babies?
Naked Toddler.
Naked Toddler. Yes. Yeah. What?
Like, what do you say to your friends? Like, yeah, I play bass in Naked Toddler.
That, I mean, I guess there was a time for names like that in the 90s and whatnot, like the really weird names and stuff. But yeah,
and that's really weird.
What a great name change. I mean, there's some really crazy, like, there's just some crazy names out there. Disgusting names.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
There is.
Just like what Stone Temple Pilots used to be before it was Stone Temple Pilots, but I'm not gonna say it on the air. You can all look it up.
Oh, you could say it. This is history.
Can I say? Yeah,
This is
it's historical record. So they were
the people won't be
STP,
mad.
Stone Temple Pilots, but the acronym stood for something else originally. It originally stood for Shirley Temple's Pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the first time we said pussy on the Grunge Bible podcast.
Now we've said it twice.
Now we've said it twice.
It's okay. People. Yeah.
It's historical record. You're right.
It is historical. Crazy that someone would think to name their
band.
I like that they kept the STP.
STP, yeah.
And they just changed the title.
Yeah. They didn't really have much of a choice, I feel like.
Nice. Good. That's a good this day of music. I like that. Good
Yeah.
conversation. All right. 1975. Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham officially join Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, and this is obviously monumental
Massive.
for Fleetwood Mac. I love their stuff from the 60s. They were super bluesy, and I'm not very well read on like the personnel in Fleetwood Mac, but some of the stuff, like they have a song called Station Man, which is like pretty fucking awesome. And they definitely changed a big paradigm shift. And I mean, two incredibly talented, musicians, and Stevie Nicks in a class all her own, obviously. So this was a very big day, but I have to say, that occurrence in 1975 pales in comparison to what happened on this day in 1990. The mighty band Ween released their debut album called God Ween Satan, The Oneness. Gene and Dean Ween were in the lab cooking up something special for all of us, and today was the day that it came into the world 34 years ago.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
I love that they're, quote unquote brothers, Gene and Dean.
Yeah.
Because they're not actually brothers, but
Right.
they told everybody that they were.
I mean,
which
hey,
is great.
I'll believe it. Well, that's like the Jack and Meg White thing. Like they were sisters or siblings, and it's like, no, we're married. And then it was just this whole big thing. But then it turned out like they were married, but they had gotten a divorce like well before the White Stripes were a thing. And just, you get the chance to manufacture some of your own lore. I mean, that's a big thing.
It is, yeah. People do it in movies all the time.
That's the thing, you meet
why
somebody,
can't we do it in real life?
Yeah, like if you meet someone and get a new audience, you can be anyone you want. We don't take advantage of that enough.
We don't.
We don't take advantage of that enough.
I'm going to host under a different name next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking, so going back to the Gollywags, or sorry, not the Gollywags, Stevie Nicks joined the band. It is interesting to think about the bands that added, like, basically it's like a trade in the sports teams when you add a member.
It's like the
when
Eagles
Foo
with
Fighters,
Joe Walsh.
Yep, or Taylor Hawkins joining the Foo Fighters, like what it does to the bands and stuff.
Right.
Or Dave Grohl, like joining.
Matt Cameron joining Soundgarden.
Yeah. Like,
or not Soundgarden, excuse me, Pearl Jam.
He left, yeah.
I'm a liar.
Okay. 1997, Townes Van Zandt passes away at age 52. Sad day.
Very sad day.
We like
Very troubled man.
We like Townes around here. That's I don't know how it was perceived in 97. Obviously, I was really young. You were just born that year, right?
I was like 3 months old.
Yeah. I would like to talk to some people that were there during his music a little bit more intently with that, because I really like him. I know people talk fondly of him, but
yeah,
it would be nice to hear a little bit of the time and place.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a really good song written by Steve Earle that's a tribute to Townes after Townes passed away, called The Fort Worth Blues. And I recommend, if you don't know it, Ethan, I think you would really like kind of thinking about Townes. But I always think about Townes Van Zandt, that quote that he had, and he said, I don't envision a very long life for myself. I expect my life to run out before my work does, because I've designed it that way. And this man, I mean, he was one of the best writers of the 20th century, anywhere, and struggled with a lot of different things, all sorts of substance abuse, and I'm sure different mental health issues that probably exacerbated that, but supremely talented. And I'm glad that he's still, you still hear people talking about him, which is good. And I feel like his popularity has remained high and perhaps even increased since he passed away. So, he was a special one. Moving forward, also on this day in 1997, the big new thing, Noah Kahan was born. Are you a Noah Kahan guy?
Yeah, not like everybody else.
I've never really listened to his stuff. Is it good?
Yeah. I can't even remember the big song that he did with Post Malone.
Post Malone, yeah.
What the heck is it called?
Stick Season?
Stick Season, yeah.
That sounds about right.
Season of the Sticks.
Yeah.
that's good. I have a few friends that really like it. I saw it pop up on some Spotify.
Right.
Yeah, good. Just
I mean, he's selling out like baseball stadiums now. Like he's on a rocket ship. Yeah, he's playing like 3 or 4 nights at Fenway Park this upcoming summer, and like they're all sold out. It's a meteoric rise for sure, considering that he's younger than me, and I didn't really know anything about him until like this past summer. But good for him, and good for the people that like him.
Yeah, I feel a little like I missed it. I don't feel like getting.
Yeah, it's not. I have too much. I have too much space to close between myself and the pack, so I'll just let them go.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, and then we've talked about this couple episodes ago, maybe with Liederman in when was that, September?
Yeah, I forget when that was.
But 2010, Chris Cornell tweets announcing the Soundgarden reunion. Knights of the Sound Table ride again.
Yeah.
Big time.
That was huge. Yeah.
Big announcement. I mean, the Soundgarden's back. They got another album coming out. And we actually we talked about
King Animal. We talked about this quite a bit
recently. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's a great one. Like I said, remember all these things happen on the first of the year. And there's some big, great time to release an album, great time to change your name, add some, make an announcement about someone joining the band.
It's a good time to be born. It's a good time to die.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, yeah.
That's just the way it goes.
I wonder if Towns passed away due to New Year's Eve festivities, or
I don't know. He was
Hank
struggling
Williams.
with a lot of different things.
Right.
He was like
Just
in and out
timing.
of like rehab and stuff. So he was, I think, on borrowed time for a lot of his life, given what he had put himself through and what he had been struggling with. But yeah. Have you seen those memes going around lately? It's like so-and-so died in like 1960. So-and-so was born in 1960, like welcome back. And it's just like ridiculous.
I just saw the first one. I've only seen one recently. Yeah. Interesting.
Like there was one I saw, it's like died in 1959, Buddy Holly, born in 1959, Jason Alexander. Welcome back, Buddy Holly. So we were just spoon-fed one like Towns and then Noah Kahn, but Towns is far superior in my opinion.
Yeah. I kind of like it though. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. I was thinking about making one for Grunge Bible, but I feel like it would be insensitive.
Yeah, but is it comedy, right? I mean, it's comedy.
I mean, everything could be comedy, I suppose.
Yeah, you can be insensitive in comedy, in history.
And talking about STP.
So that's This Day in Music, January 1st. And now we get to the meat and potatoes, some would call it.
Yes.
And the way I kind of looked at this practice when we talked about it and sent it over, like, yes, it is the beginning, of a set list by these bands, dream set list, if you will. But also, like, what song do I want to ring in the new year with if I'm talking about these bands? Obviously, like, how you
I like
start
that
your
too.
year.
Yeah.
Same thing, because it takes a little bit different. It's like, all right, you get one song to get you going for the year, or it's like one song and then, you don't get to listen to that for the rest of the set list.
Right.
So like, there's two different things, because a few of these like that I put like, okay, I would want to hear it as the encore, but for this thing being like, I only get one song from them for the year or something, kind of changed the way I picked it just a little bit.
So you're kind of thinking it in terms of like kickoff songs as like, this is the one that I'm setting the tone with.
Yeah, I kind of went like, I kind of went in that direction. Like, all right, this is the song for the new year. Like, this is the one that I'm listening as I'm heading to the gym at 8 a.m. if I get up on.
I like
January
that. Do you want to pivot in real time here?
Yeah. Because we've done the set list before, and
no, this is good. And January 1st only happens once a year, so
exactly. And you get one song,
and who knows? We may never release a podcast again on January 1st. So
yeah. Very, very, very likely.
It's like the Eagles lyric, like, we may lose and we may win, but we will never be here again.
Exactly.
I hate the fucking Eagles.
Oh, man. Fuck. I love the Eagles. For the sake of the pod.
For the sake of the pod.
Do you want to go in the order that you wrote?
Yeah, there was no particular order to how I did it. So we could popcorn around. We can just, if it's easier to follow, we can go in the order that I wrote.
Yeah. And then you have the big four, obviously, for the first four. So you want to knock them out.
Yeah, I
talk
think it
about 'em?
makes sense. Yeah, I think we'll start with the I've been heavy into Pearl Jam. We've been talking to some people lately who are, Pearl Jam is near and dear to their heart, so I think it makes sense. So I think Pearl Jam's a great place to start. So Ethan, kick off your new year. If you pick one song from Pearl Jam's catalog, what are you putting where you pressing play on?
Yeah, this is a simple question when you ask us sometimes, like where we want to start. What do we always want to hear? And I think I'm going to stick to it. I think I'm going to say Release. I want that to be the first song I hear. Kind of Release, coming from the old year, you're starting new. Like it seems like, and there's a ton of really good options, obviously, for the big four. There's a lot of songs that carry weight, but for sentimental reasons, for lyrical reasons, all the above, I'm sticking to Release.
Nice. I like that. I'm following a similar thought process, but I will not pick Release, actually. I think Present Tense is a impeccable song to begin with. And I think, when you're kind of starting fresh, that's as good of a reminder as anything to kind of slow down and think about your life. And it makes much more sense, obviously, to live in the present tense.
Yeah, a lot of my songs are pretty upbeat that I picked as a starter for obvious reasons. And now that I think about it, you easily, I thought you were going to say Dissident.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. Yeah. Well, they can go one of two ways. They can go energized, like you could be energized, or you could be mindful, right? And I think those two things don't often happen like clearly together. And there's obviously some bands that like don't kind of have that like meditative, mindful type thing, but Pearl Jam's got a lot of them that suit themselves to that. And I would say Soundgarden obviously doesn't really have, a whole bunch of that. So, and I believe they are our next band on the list, so we could segue over to them if you'd like to.
Oh yeah, I have two songs. Couldn't decide. I have a few where I put like a two song banger depending on. And this one I really like. I was really feeling Spoon Man.
Nice.
Or Gun. Those are the two.
Gun, nice.
Yeah, I think Gun would be really, really solid.
Mm-hmm.
Again, just super upbeat, a lot of drums. And Spoon Man, like same thing, like very intense beginning,
Oh yeah.
Very musically intense, that song, Spoon Man.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Mine is going to be kind of in the same vein, like getting energized a little bit. I'm going to go from Super Unknown. I'm going to pick My Wave. I think that's just a really fun, energetic song. The guitar sounds great, and there's no better way once again to start the year. Like you get into the present tense for a little bit, with Pearl Jam, and then you tell everybody else not to piss on your gate and just to keep it off your wave, and you got to do your own thing and take care of your own stuff and throw caution to the wind a little bit. But there's so many good ones. Like Searching with My Good Eye Closed would be my pick probably most times. But I think My Wave is a good one, and I think it lends itself well to kind of like kicking off the year.
Yeah, another way you could look at this is if you had to make a New Year's playlist, one song per band.
And we might have to do this. Oh, my voice just cracked horribly right there.
Absolutely. And like taking from this next song, I mean, this next band, Nirvana, I try not to overthink this one. Like if they're opening, like what's going to get me the most excited, especially if I'm at a concert. I looked at this one as a concert. Like if I'm there and all of a sudden they come in, obviously Smells Like Teen Spirit, the guitar, cool. Like I'm getting, you're immediate. Like, I mean, we knew they were going to play it. Obviously they always, they have to play it, but like it would just be electric. It would just be flat out electric. And, with the fatigue of listening to it, maybe it's not something that I put on the playlist if I was actually making a playlist, but I feel like that is how you want to start a concert in a new year. So.
Mm-hmm. Nice. I'm going to choose. Hey, you know what?
And it is what it is. It's one of the best songs for a reason.
Reason, exactly. Yeah. And mine doesn't really stray too far off of that beaten path. I'm going to pick Come As You Are. I just love the juxtaposition in that song of the opening riff, and then things kind of really, really explode when the drums come in the chorus. I think that's a good energizer, and it's a good kind of entry song. Both to start a year and also to start a show. Like I picture the lights are off and you just hear like the
yeah, they are slightly different if you think about waiting for a band to come on and then also driving to the car in the new year. It's a little different, so we'll clarify before we the headspace.
But we can bounce back and forth. Exactly. So
it's our show.
I believe we may be aligned with Alice in Chains. Do we really have to say much? It has to be Wood, right?
Do we really have to do this? Like, it's going to be Wood. I mean,
Yeah.
There's so many reasons dating back, 3 years of why. There's so many days of why we would do this. So I also put Man in the Box as a something else that would just be electric.
Yeah. Sunshine would be cool too.
Songs.
Or
I mean, there's a ton of
they're all good. Yeah, I mean, any song off of Facelift, really, if you think about it, and even Dirt's got a lot of good candidates for that. Let's so we're gonna kind of shift back and forth between the grunge and the not grunge elements here. I wanted to do the voice.
You almost did.
I caught myself. I almost did the voice. Yeah, the grunge genre here on the Grunge Bible Podcast.
Yes.
But let's rage up a little bit. Let's get into some Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah. Critical band to be starting the year off.
Yeah, and this is an important selection here. Yeah.
Yeah, and this one, tons of songs. Tons of songs have the intro, Tom Morello, you can go anywhere. Simply put, Killing in the Name of, Bulls on Parade, both perfect tracks. I also put Bomb Track. I think that would be a really good starting one.
Bomb Track would be really good.
I think I'll go with Bomb Track. I mean, the other one, obviously, there's three. Anyway.
Yeah, it's hard.
Different for you?
It's impossible to pick a dud. Yeah, I'm gonna go a little different. I'm gonna go from the first track on the Battle of Los Angeles, Testify. That's one of my favorite Rage songs. It might be my favorite. And I mean, just the energy, similar to kind of like a Come As You Are type thing, where there's just all this build up and anticipation. And then when the song blows up, it's just all around you. And I think that really can set the tone. So that's what I'm going to go with for Rage Against the Machine. So next up, we have my favorite band from the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and 2010s, and 2020s, the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Bold claim. Another 4-letter band acronym, RHCP, RATM. Yes, Chris, your favorite band of all time. What song are you starting off your concert with?
I didn't really put much thought into this one because I don't really love the Chili Peppers a whole lot, but I think Can't Stop.
Danny California.
Nut button. Just hammer it.
Danny California.
Under the bridge. No, I'm picking Can't Stop.
Maggie's Rain Dance.
Yeah, there's a prevailing theme with a lot of these. All of the songs that I'm picking kind of have the waters kind of getting a little wild, and then boom. I think Can't Stop is one of those songs.
Of course, Can't Stop's a good one.
Yeah.
I went with Suck My Kiss. I think that one.
Hell yeah.
One of my favorite songs from them. But I think it would be really good to start a show with, and
nice.
Would be an electric band to see to start the new year. Thinking that would be at the top. Rage and Red Hot Chili Peppers would be a lot of fun. I mean, any of these bands would be, but I feel like that would work really well.
Totally.
The next band that we're going to talk about, Smashing Pumpkins.
We might be the same here. I'm interested to see what yours is.
I know for a fact, I'm going to call it that we are the same on the next one for Audio Slave. We could be wrong. I mean, you can go.
It could be wrong. I'm thinking.
I think there's a clear cut one for that it needs to be said. But we'll do Smashing Pumpkins. And I was looking at some of the songs and I wrote a few down. And then I got to one. I was like, oh, it has to be this. It has to be Today.
Today? Okay, we're not the same.
Okay. Did you say Cherub Rock?
Yep, Cherub Rock.
Yeah.
Yep, that
Cherub
was mine.
Rock was the first one I wrote down, but then I was like,
and I know you're really high on that song. That's one of your favorites. And I figured, but it was funny. We kind of flip-flopped. My first thought was kind of Today. And then I was like, oh, you know what? Actually, Cherub Rock kind of seems more suited to kind of opening things up.
Yeah, it has the build. It is very.
But it all depends on what you're going for. In the same way,
Today has that. Honestly, kind of what you talked about in the beginning, a little bit of the meditative.
And then when the fuzz comes in,
but also fuzzy. Yeah, maybe that's the song that kind of can handle both.
Yeah, it's get yourself a song that can do both.
I want to shout out since we talked about Christmas songs and obviously Pearl Jam and whatnot last week. But I've been listening to Christmas Time by the Smashing Pumpkins. I sent it to you. I'm not sure if you listened to it.
Yes, I did listen to it.
And they are. I've heard it before, but I forgot. It was on my dad's Christmas playlist. And I was like, "Is this Smashing Pumpkins?" And he's like, "Yeah." Well, I was surprised that he had it on there, but just really, really good. Because they're very orchestral and they have all the strings and they have he has the voice for something like Christmas Time, and pretty solid. Yeah.
So now we've reached the point. You called your shot, Ethan.
Yeah. And it just is a question if you want to answer the call or if you want to go and do something different. Because I think that. So all right, on 3 we're going to say it. See if
Okay.
we can say the same thing. All right. 1, 2, 3. Coach
Show me
Eyes.
how to live.
Okay, show me how to live. I knew for some reason I knew that wasn't going to be the same.
But no, I was honestly, I didn't know what I was going to say until the clock just hit 1 right there. Because originally my first thought was Light My Way, and then I was like, oh, it's got to be Coach Eyes. But then I was kind of thinking of the groove to open up, Show Me How to Live, and like the hum that Chris Cornell does at the beginning, like that. I mean, that'll get your heart pumping out of your throat. But Coach Eyes does too. It's this.
Coach Eyes has that lingering like. You know what? I don't even know. I don't know what effect it is. You know, what I mean? But they click it and then the drums are going. So.
Audio Slave's first album, it's almost like someone gave them a mandate and was like, "Hey, you need
Every
to create
song
an
needs to
album
be-
that is full of songs. Like every single song needs to be one that'll just like get somebody to levitate." And they certainly did it. Which is, I mean, Set It Off. I mean, come on, like all of them.
Yeah, I mean,
All of
really,
them
like
do it.
Audio
Getaway
Slave
Car,
Audio Slave and Rage Against the Machine are two bands that like
Gasoline,
dominate this playlist. If we
Yes.
needed songs to like,
Yeah.
you know, get you through a drive or
Mm-hmm.
start the new year.
Yeah, I totally agree. So one that I think there's less candidates for, because obviously this next band that we're going to talk about, Mad Season, they only released one proper album, the Above album, and there's a couple of different ways to go. But I am going to pick I Don't Know Anything. I kind of love the concept of that as somebody who also doesn't know anything, and I think it's probably their most energizing song. And I think it's just a good one to kind of get moving to. So what would you pick for Mad Season?
This was a tough one because yes, it's limited and it didn't fit what I was trying to get necessarily. And I wanted to cheat for these two and do like covers, you know, maybe of you know, hear and play something else from one of their other bands. But
Yeah,
I think Wake Up would be a great, like, I think they opened with that a few times at some shows and it when they played, and I think that it makes a lot of sense to start the new year off, you know, and kind of would be a fun one to listen to at a
What
show,
if one of us
obviously.
picked All Alone?
We'd have to stop the pod and I'd call you.
yeah, we just need to check up and make sure everybody's doing okay.
We'd have a mid-episode recheck-in.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We'll post the call on the Patreon.
So for next one, Temple of the Dog, another one.
It's the same space as what you just said
Same
about Mad
space.
Season. It's like I don't really know where to go with this one.
Yeah. So I just went with what I want to hear, and I want to hear Hunger Strike at some point. So
Me
like,
too.
you know, kind of a cop out. I mean, you could say maybe Call Me a Dog, but like I don't know if that would get me in the mood for whatever the New Year's. So Hunger Strike would be great though. Hunger Strike would be better than
I think
River
Hunger
of
Strike's
Deceit.
got to be the one.
Yeah, if we're talking compared to two bands, like River of Deceit, maybe a little down.
Yeah, I don't think
But-
I would want to. I certainly wouldn't want to begin my year with River of Deceit.
Yeah, but Hunger Strike that has Hunger. That
Yeah,
has some,
yeah, I think
has some staying
that's
power.
yeah, and it sounds it's definitely better emotional space that it puts you in as opposed to River of Deceit, even just based off of the way that it sounds. So we've kind of we've run through a lot of bands that kind of operate in the circle of the '90s and have either direct or very, very close to being direct connections to the grunge rock world, but we're going to kind of get off the path here, or you would say maybe we're getting into the heart, the inner sanctum of the grunge movement here with Creed, the Creed song that we would choose to start the year. And what was your candidate, and what was your selection rather for this one?
Yeah, this one again didn't want to overthink it. What would get me in the best mood for either a Creed show or the new year? And it's going to be Higher. I mean, it has to be. It has to be. And you know, maybe a lame pick, but I've never seen them, and I want to hear it. I want to sing.
We're going this year, by the way.
I saw a really funny, you know, something on Instagram. The kids, bunch of 5 people went and did Christmas carols, but they did Creedmas songs, and they sang Higher to people.
I saw Creed reposted that on their Instagram. I was super stoked about that.
Yeah, love it.
That was awesome.
How about you?
I'm gonna pick "Are You Ready" by Creed.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the first track on Human Clay. I think it's one of their stronger tracks. I'm very tempted to choose Higher though, but there's just something about "Are You Ready?" It just kind of, it's a big song, and
Yeah.
you gotta. That's something you have to ask yourself before you begin any sort of pursuit. You know, are you ready?
It's true. It's true. Everybody Everybody always asks you if you're ready, but do you ever ask yourself?
Right.
Am
I was
ready?
kind of close to picking from the My Own Prison album. I was kind of close to picking What's This Life For, but that's like a little too River of Deceit for me to open up. That would be a bizarre show opener too. Yeah, that would be a really bizarre show opener.
All right. Next one, going back a little more in the realm, not quite. The next six bands are definitely not from left field like Creed, maybe for some of the listeners, but Bush. Great band.
We still haven't talked about the fact that I saw them, and I'm not in the mood to talk about it today. So
yeah, we'll push it off.
Yeah,
there'll be a time. Question though, what they open with? Not to go back on our word.
At the show that I went to?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I don't remember. I don't recall.
Well, if you could have chosen their first song, what would you have chosen?
They didn't play. There was one song. It's like a super deep cut. Not super deep cut, but it's not something you think of when you think of Bush. But I have like a personal anecdote. The first video game that I ever got, the Bush song "The People That We Love" was featured in it, and I loved that song. And that's the one that I would pick. They unfortunately did not play it at the Providence Performing Arts Center in November of 2023. But that's going to be we're going to set the tone with the people.
That's a good one.
Love.
I had two selections. One, Come
Machine
Down.
Head? Yeah.
No, I stayed away from Machine Head. I didn't go. I went Come Down or Little Things, and I think I'm leaning towards Little Things.
Okay, that's a good song.
I really like Little Things.
Yeah.
Come Down, like I don't know if I would want to come down from the high of the previous year. I don't know if that would be where I want to start. So I'm going with Little Things.
Nice.
Next one. We haven't talked about Silverchair in a while, Chris.
It's been a very long time.
It has been a while. We haven't done an episode or anything. So we did do a Frog Stomp episode, right?
I don't think that we ever did a dedicated Frog Stomp.
No? Maybe it was just, I just remember we've posted that on the anniversary a few times.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's what it was.
Because we haven't done that. All right. So. Well, my song's coming off of Frog Stomp, of course.
Okay.
And it's the opening track as well for the album, and that's Israel's Son.
All right.
One of my favorites, super heavy intro, and something that I would recognize if I was waiting for them to come on and they were off stage and they started playing.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah, mine's going to come from their second album, Freak Show, actually, and it's going to be the song Freak. I think that's one that sets the tone as well. I was definitely thinking in the same realm as you, but then I kind of decided to be a little bit of a contrarian. But for me, like the guitar riff that opens up Freak is just almost like hypnotic to me. And I really, really get down with it. So I figured that was one that I wanted to include here. So
did you know that they were only 15 when they first recorded? Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
That's like sophomore, junior in high school, Chris.
How did they do that when they were that young?
And they wrote songs like Israel's Son, Tomorrow. I mean, those lyrics.
Like, you think that money isn't everything, but I'd like to see you live without it, fat boy.
Fat boy.
Fat boy.
Fat boy.
Tomorrow.
Fat boy. 15.
That's amazing.
Yeah, crazy.
I can't fucking believe that. That's the first time I've ever heard that. I thought they were just like normal age.
It's an interesting fact that not many people know.
Wow. Well, I think we should probably tell people.
Yeah. When we post
I think there's a chance that this story goes deeper than any of us imagine.
It's very intriguing if you think about it.
It's an incredibly intriguing story. I would love to chat about it.
I would love to yip and yap.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we need an episode on why how amazing it was that they were 15.
Yeah. That's coming soon. I'm declaring it now.
Man, what an episode that would be.
What a lineup. Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters. Great band. Love them. Where to start with this band? Another one, like when I was looking at like Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, AIC, and these guys, kind of like I don't want to say tough to pick because anything is good, but for some reason it's like you just know the catalog so well that you're just like, okay, which direction do I want to go? That was the Foo Fighters for me. I was like, all right.
I had the same problems with Foo Fighters as I did Pearl Jam.
Yeah,
there's so many different ways to go.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, where did you go?
I kind of use this just as an opportunity to take the time to shout out my favorite Foo Fighters song. But I think it lends itself pretty well to either opening a show or opening a year, kind of getting you in a good space. And I'm going to choose from There's Nothing Left to Lose. I'm going to choose Aurora. That is my all-time favorite Foo Fighters song. I love it. It makes me feel really, really good. It makes me feel whole. So I think, there's obviously a lot worse places to go than feeling good and whole to start something. So it's just a really beautiful song. I believe it was Taylor's favorite song too, of the Foo Fighters catalog, at least for most of the time there. So yeah, that's my song. It comes from such an honest place, and it's just so, it's just special. It's really special. It's one of those that I think I really connected with more so than a lot of songs from the Foo Fighters catalog, is something that developed a meaning for me. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Really, really solid choice. I had 3 that I just wrote down.
Nice.
One I thought was kind of in that in between stage that we talked about, and I feel like would just be for some reason a good. Maybe it's because of the band, what it means to me. But I Am a River would be something
yes
that I would just love to like open up a set list, but also like open up a year. It would make. I mean, immediately Vince McMahon like.
I can't do this right now.
I can't do this right now.
Like I'm crying, and I'm only 9 hours into the new year here.
Especially with all the, with the stuff with the band recently. I mean, it would just kind of get me.
That would be like, and like this word can mean kind of like 2 different things. Like that would kind of be like a ballsy show opener, like of like, hey, like we're coming on and like we're going for your heart right now.
Yeah, and specifically, that's
I love that.
Like, that would be that's like an ending of the show, ending of the first act type of thing. I also put Stacked Actors and Rope as 2 awesome candidates as well. So, and they've I believe they've opened with Rope a bunch of times over the years.
Yeah,
and probably Stacked.
That's very, very good.
All right, next one, Stone Temple Pilots.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to go with STP.
Obvious choice, Dead and Bloated. Put that on there.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna love that. But I've also put Silver Gun Superman would be
all right. Yeah, I could totally see that.
Just distortion and heavy, and it could be, it could be a different. I tried to think a little different for them. I was like, but
well, they have that variety too that we were talking about with the Foo Fighters and with Pearl Jam especially.
But they're a little more like they're like a little more like weird with their down low stuff, I think.
Oh yeah. Like, I mean, my second album.
Yes, exactly. Like my second album, like, yeah. But yes,
yeah, this one's tough. I would probably pick. I really want to pick Kitchenware and Candy Bars because it's been my favorite STP song lately, but it doesn't lend itself well to either opening a show or opening a year. So I'm just gonna go big and loud, and I'm gonna go with The Wicked Garden. I think we need to lend some time to Plush because it's Plush, right? I think it would lend itself well. But for me, Wicked Garden, I think there's more candidates to kind of open things up on Core than there would be on Purple or certainly Tiny Music or Number 4. Or Shangri-La Di Da, everybody's favorite album from 2001. But yeah, I'm a Wicked Garden guy.
Plush would be really good for like definitely overextending yourself on New Year's Eve. And you have a long drive back and you're like, okay, I know I said this was my year, so I really got to get back. And you maybe start with Plush, kind of ease into the new year, but also with a little bit of
Big Empty. Too much tripping and my soul's worn thin.
Exactly, like something to just kind of get through the hangover.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next 2 bands critical to the grunge.
Very critical
archetype.
Yeah,
and you've seen both of these bands, so
people forget.
People forget. So firsthand where the Melvins and Mudhoney can go, and so I'll pass it to you first.
All right.
I think for the Melvins.
Yeah. So the one disclaimer with the Melvins is I saw them live, and to this day, I could not tell you what songs they played.
Right.
I couldn't tell you how many they played. I couldn't tell you when the songs were changing. It was just noise, and it was fascinating.
The only thing is they played for 1 hour.
They play for 1 hour. They don't say anything, and then they leave. And for that purpose, I'm just going to pick Joan of Arc from the Houdini album. I think it's a safe place because you could get weird with this if you wanted to, and I don't want to. I'm afraid. I'm very afraid.
Yeah, I put Boris.
Oh, yeah.
One of our. I think
that one's a big one
acoustic
for
version,
us.
obviously, with just
Just
Buzz.
hammering that low D string
Yeah, and in that maybe
or low E
for
string,
more,
excuse me.
more for personal than public reasons.
Yeah.
Why I'm
But hey, that's the
choosing
thing.
that one.
We have to. There comes points in time where we have to apologize for public and private things, and sometimes these things can also be private as well.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think that's good. And let's go to Mudhoney. And I don't think you're gonna know or be able to guess the one that I'm going to pick, but I'm picking When Tomorrow Hits from Mudhoney. I think that's what they opened with when I saw them. And it's just such a perfect like the ethos of that song I think is perfect to kind of both open up a show is really, really cool. And to open up a year too, I think that would be pretty sweet.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. I'm not sure I spent much time with it. AKA,
When tomorrow hits, what's easy for you comes so hard. What you got never got me far. There's no stopping the end from coming when tomorrow hits.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with You Got It. Keep It Out of My Face.
Yeah. That's a tone setter.
I mean, that's a tone setter. That definitely fits the exercise. And again, like that's what I want to hear from them opening it up. Even though, like you said, if you have bands where you only know like 4 or 5 songs and you almost want to cherish them. You don't want to be done right at the beginning. I still want them to pull me in. So I do want to hear that one first.
Right on.
You can save Touch Me, I'm Sick, for later.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Absolutely. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the Screaming Trees. I know this one wasn't on our list, but just kind of thinking of them off the top of my head. I would love Dying Days by the Screaming Trees to open up a show and also to kind of set the tone relative to a lot of maybe their other ones. Although there's a lot of the Sweet Oblivion album has some really good candidates. I think of Troubled Times and Winter Song. Those would be really cool. Shadow of the Season would be a great opener too, and also tone setter for the year. But I realized that I had left them off the list, so I just kind of wanted to take some time to give them their space on this episode as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dollar Bill would be, I think, maybe my song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, this has nothing to do with grunge, Ethan, but like, how good of an opener is Au Revoir by the Front Bottoms?
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. I feel like he's opened with that a few times. Where it's a really good like mid set, like it's kind of something for a reprise. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about the Wonder Years? What would you want the open for the Wonder Years?
I would go immediately with Doors I Painted Shut. With the one, it has to be. It's a 2-parter because Doors I Painted Shut was the first song on The Hum Goes On Forever, their most recent album, and it directly ties into the last song on the album, You're the Reason I Don't Want the World to End. So it's a package deal. If we're starting with Doors I Painted Shut, then You're the Reason I Don't Want the World to End has to be like the end of the main set, and then they come on for the opener. But Came Out Swinging is such a great ending song, but it's a great show opener too. And when they toured that album, they toured the anniversary of that album a couple of years ago. It was like the 10th anniversary or something, and that was the first song on the album. And I think it fits perfectly there. The weirdest one for me, Ethan, was when I saw the Front Bottoms Talon of the Hawk 10-year anniversary. Twin Size Mattress is like the second song that they play.
Yeah.
It felt really, really strange to hear it that early in a set list.
Yeah. And it's always one of the last songs they play. Yeah. But I would enjoy that too. I mean, kind of doing it right away because it would definitely, everybody's excited for it. So
and it's coming too. So there's like a different kind of anticipation there.
Right. Exactly.
That's
I think
awesome.
For the Wonder Years, their opening song for the album, The Greatest Generation, would be one of my favorites. Huge song for them. So why not?
Good. Yeah. I have like a. When that song breaks down for the bridge and you're just kind of like floating, like I always have this joke with Cullen, Eddie Vedder got me through my second divorce, like the bridge of the there head nod. It's like, that's when you know where you're in a good space.
Yeah,
you're just floating.
We should just talk about the Front Bottoms and the Wonder Years as like grunge bands and see if anybody.
It's a war of attrition out here, Ethan. I would like to think by this time we've gotten at least one person to become a fan of those bands.
Absolutely.
We're doing the Lord's work out here.
Has Rachel Corning seen both bands with you?
Yes, Rachel Corning has seen both bands with me.
There you go.
And I've seen both bands, and so has Eddie Vedder. Got me through my second divorce.
I say Colin got in the Front Bottoms. I got more into the Wonder Years because of it. Like it's just a big
communal.
meld. It's a melding spot. Like
yeah.
And
that's what makes music fun, though. It's fun to be able to have access to these shows and take people, and that's the best way to develop a relationship with a band is you see them live, especially if you could see them live with somebody who like knows what it's about. Because you did that to me with the Front Bottoms, and Colin did that to me with the Wonder Years. And here I am now. I'm able to do that for other people. Yeah, exactly. This is how the whole darn human comedy perpetuates itself across the sands of time, westward in the wagon. I'm rambling again.
I'm taking another of those good old sarsaparillas.
Yes, catch you later on down the trail.
Oh, man, so good.
Well, that's a good point right there. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, all of it. Yep, we are rambling, and then my dad brought the other day. I was talking to Doug, a top level patron as well, and he said something about the podcast. We're talking, and Dad was like, "Yeah, listen to your." He said, "I listened to the Big Lebowski episode. It was really good."
Nice.
And I was like, "You listened to it, huh?" I was like, "Which other episodes did you listen to there, Dad?" I wonder how much of a listener he is.
Yeah,
but
I always get nervous.
So
I get really nervous about that. Like just recently, somebody that I was very excited and hopeful to make a good impression on was like, "Tell me your favorite podcast episode that you've done. I want to listen." I was like, "I don't really want to tell you that because I don't want you to listen to any of the podcasts because I just don't."
That's an easy answer though. You say
Uncle Buck. Or Lederman.
Uncle Buck.
The second Lederman was great.
So good. I mean, anything like Doug was like, just have Lederman on. Like, he really wants him to talk about the '80s hair metal band. So he wants to hear Lederman talk about that.
That would be sweet.
Which like would be perfect because
I love Eric.
He would run with it.
Yeah. He'd have a story to tell.
Yes, they always do. And they always tell it.
And they want.
I've been in that position. Me too. Sometimes
I'm going to be in that position tonight, probably.
Yeah.
I just want to tell my story.
I have a lot to say.
Yeah.
My story's good because I'm in it. That's why it's so good.
The only reason why I ask other people about their stories is so they can tell their story and shut the fuck up so I can tell mine.
They go first so I could top it.
Exactly.
That's the only
I love
reason
that my story's good because I'm in it.
Yeah. It is like, this is the most true, like, I don't even know what the word is. It's just like a blunt thing that is true.
Well, and it happens all the time. Like, you know how, and like we're all guilty of it, but it's like the whole thing where like you're in a conversation with somebody and like you ask them about something because you know they're gonna ask you back about that and you want to talk about it.
Yeah, so you're just setting it up so it will somehow get back to what you really want to talk about.
They're like, "Oh, what did you do today?" Because there's something that you want to talk about that happened to your day.
The Trojan horse, man. It is so
my
good.
Story's good because I'm in it.
Oh my gosh. It's so funny when you're talking to somebody too and you ask them and like they start answering and you're not listening because you're just like thinking about like, gotta remember to tell them this. And then
it's like I need to set up like the structure for my story. and then you tune back in and you're like, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah.
That happens to me on the phone a lot too. Mm-hmm. All the time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, with certain people for sure. My little brother calls me and he always has stories to tell.
Oh yeah. But at least like he doesn't hide though. He just goes right into his story. He doesn't even bother with the pomp and circumstance of asking you how your story is.
No. Oh man. That's 2024 is your story.
It's the year to tell your story. And it's the year to make your story too.
Yes.
We're writing our story. It's the story so far.
Yeah. History.
Amen, brother. Well, if you're still with us, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed that episode. I hope maybe as it went along, you kind of were thinking of song selections for yourself. And perhaps we had same ones, perhaps we had different ones. We'd love to hear it, what your selections were. So hit us up, tell us what you were thinking, and support us if you want. You can make that your New Year's resolution to support in a financial way your two favorite podcast co-hosts and your favorite podcast producer, your favorite podcast. So that's really all I have to say about that. We've got some songs of the week, and this is important. It's the first one of 2024. So there's it's a lot of pressure here.
Yeah, I was gonna bypass it if I was gonna be honest, Chris. I was gonna say I'm gonna definitely compile a list of all the songs we just had.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have you send over. We'll make a playlist, and then they can listen to it. But we'll put the songs of the week on it as well.
Yeah, I think we should do a song of the week. So
now we will.
Yeah,
we always. There's always that moment. It's like, should we skip it? But no, we got to do it.
I mean,
we will make it.
It's easy to do it, you know.
I do want to make a playlist for everybody, so keep an eye out for that.
Totally.
Okay, songs of the week. So, yeah, Chris, what New Year's, new song of the year? What this is the first.
I've got
where are we going?
I've got a newly released song, actually. It's got nothing to do with really the start of the year, but it's from a band that is from Massachusetts that is very talented, in my opinion, and is a band called the Circus Trees. And it's this trio of sisters who are like in their teens, like they're like 16 or 17 or 8, something like that. And they just released a new song called Negative Feedback that's really, really fucking good. And it just came out, I think, on December 18th, so not too long before we were recording this. And it's super awesome, really, really powerful, really, really emotionally provocative, provoking emotions. And it's just a great song. And I posted that part of the music video a couple days ago on Grunge Bible. And I just wanted to share it here too, because it's one of those things that if you listen to it, I think you're going to like it. So please heed my suggestion.
Nice. That is a very thoughtful song of the week. I love
Taking
that.
it to the streets.
So, yeah.
Your song.
Yeah, I don't see. I'm looking through some of the songs I recently like. I think I've been trying to add songs to my my liked playlist, But I've been clicking add and it's adding it to somewhere else.
Oh man, they're rogue. They're out there in the ether.
I've been adding it to something different. So for my song of the week, I'm gonna go kind of random. Now I went to breakfast with my father today, and it was nice. We were in my car. I had to change my oil, so we drove my car. So my music was playing, and every song came. I was like, "Oh, the Swans," It's like, right. Yeah, the Swans are random band from the 80s, 90s, and like some stuff just popped up. And the song "Didn't I" by Daronado came on, and it's like the didn't I. I don't know. You would know it. Mm-hmm. And it was really good. It was really a really solid song. Got me in a good mood, and it was kind of unexpected. So I think that is a good song to start the year off.
Hell yeah.
And yeah. So you would know it when you hear it. Everybody out there just didn't have the, I don't know,
vocal prowess.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? All right. That takes care of the first episode of the new year, 2024. Wow.
We've got 51 more coming.
We do.
Sheesh.
You just said it, Chris. Now we have to do it.
One at a time.
One at a time.
All right, everyone. Happy New Year. Wealth, happiness, love, prosperity, and good music, and money coming from you to us in 2024. Those are my wishes for the new year.
Heck yeah. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of the day, wonderful rest of the week, and start your year off right.
Let's stay heavy this year.
Let's stay heavy. Yeah. Exactly.
Rock and roll.
See you guys. Rock and roll.